لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. وبعد. Alright, don't look at the text here. Wal-Fajr. Is it a Meccan surah or Madani surah? Meccan surah. Why? Because it starts with Wal-Fajr. Okay? Good. Remember this as we go along. Whenever you read the Quran, remember this and make dua for me, inshallah. No. So this is it. لا أقسم بهذا البلد. Also, it's an oath. So this is a Meccan surah as well. So in Surah Fajr, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He starts off with a series of oaths and telling people to reflect. Right? And tells people to reflect and contrast how the end result of the grateful and the ungrateful. And the contrast, the result of someone who's prepared for the akhirah versus someone who is not prepared for the akhirah or doesn't think the akhirah is a reality.
A Meccan surah in which God emphasizes by oath that the tyrants of the Prophet ﷺ's time will be like those he dealt with in the past. The surah compares the destiny of the ungrateful with that of the souls at peace. In the name of God, the Lord of mercy, the giver of mercy. By the daybreak, by the 10 nights, by the even and the odd, by the night as it passes. Is this oath strong enough for a rational person? Have you, Prophet ﷺ, considered how your Lord dealt with the people of Ad, of Iram, the city of lofty pillars, whose like has never been made in any land, and the Thamud, who hewed into the rocks in the valley, and the mighty and powerful Fir'aun. All of them committed excesses in their lands and spread corruption there. Your Lord let a scourge of punishment loose on them. Your Lord is always on the watch. The nature of man is that when his Lord tries him through honor and blessings, he says, "My Lord has honored me." But when he tries through the restriction of his provision, he says, "My Lord has humiliated me." No, indeed. You people do not honor orphans. You do not urge one another to feed the poor. You consume inheritance greedily, and you love wealth with a passion. No, indeed. When the earth is pounded to dust, pounded and pounded, when your Lord comes with the angels, row after row, when hell is that day brought near, on that day man will take heed. But what good will that be to him then? He will say, would that I had provided for this life to come? On that day, no one will punish as he punishes, and no one will bind as he binds. But you, soul at peace, return to your Lord well pleased and well pleasing. Go in among my servants and into my garden.
Alright, Jazakumullah khairan. Here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, after mentioning nations of the past, in verse 15, is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He tries people through blessings and honor, and He tries them through restriction of provision as well. So we have to understand that when things are going well, this is a test from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. How are we going to respond? Are we going to take care of the orphan? Are we going to take care of feed the poor? Are we going to help those that are in need? And when things aren't going well, or we're being tested through restriction, then how are we going to respond? Are we going to say that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has left me? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has abandoned me? Or some people, they pray salah as long as they see some worldly tangible benefit in it. But if they see that things that are being tested, in spite of praying their salah, then they'll stop praying salah. Right? We don't worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on our terms, or make conditions that, oh Allah, if you do this, then I'll pray. Allah doesn't need us to pray. We worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala unconditionally. Oh Allah, we pray because you tell us to pray. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will increase a person's faith if they believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and do what He tells us to do. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, verse 24, a person will say, I wish that I had provided for this life to come, my real life, right? Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, verse 27, Ya ayyatuha an-nafsul mutma'inna, irji'i ila rabbiki radiyatan mardiyah, fadkhuli fi ibadi wadkhuli jannati. The person whose soul is at peace, nafs mutma'inna, they're content with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah is pleased with them and they are pleased with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They will be told to enter into Jannah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us all nafs mutma'inna and make us all enter into Jannah al-Firdaus. Ameen. Surah Balad Balad is also a Meccan surah because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala swears by the city. City is referring to Mecca. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asks this question. Didn't He give us eyes? Didn't He give us a tongue? Didn't He give us two lips? Right? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, how are we responding? How are we thanking Him for the blessings that He has bestowed upon us?
Revealed in Mecca, the point of the surah is that man is created to work and be judged. He should therefore seek to do good deeds rather than indulge in arrogance and wastefulness. In the name of God, the Lord of mercy, the giver of mercy. I swear by the city, and you, Prophet ﷺ, are an inhabitant of this city. I swear by parent and offspring, that we have created man for toil and trial. Does he think that no one will have power over him? I have squandered great wealth, he says. Does he think no one has seen him? Did we not give him 2 eyes, a tongue, 2 lips, and point out to him the 2 clear ways of good and evil? Yet he has not attempted the steep path. What will explain to you what the steep path is? It is to free a slave, to feed at a time of hunger, an orphan relative, or a poor person in distress, and to be one of those who believe and urge one another to steadfastness and compassion. Those who do this will be on the right-hand side, but those who disbelieve in our revelations will be on the left-hand side, and the fire will close in on them.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He said, وَهَدَيْنَاهُ النَّجْدَيْنِ. Didn't Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make the 2 ways clear of what is right and what is wrong? And why don't we work to do that which is right? Right? To help free a slave, feed a person at a time of hunger, orphan relative, person in distress, to be one that believe and encourage others to do good. This is the right path, right? This is what we need to do. This is what we need to aspire. To be a source of benefit not only to ourselves but to others as well. These are the people that will be on the right side, the Ashabul Yameen, but those who disbelieve in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's revelations, right? If a person believes in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's revelations, but he doesn't do these things that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned, does he truly believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's revelations? No. Right? So we not only need to believe, but carry out that belief and demonstrate that belief through our actions. Someone, I think there was a Facebook, social media or something, was telling me that, someone who says that Iman is in my heart is like someone on a test, they tell the teacher, the answers are in my head. You understand that? If the teacher's testing you, and he says, okay, where are the answers? Answer the question. And he said, the answers are in my head. That's like someone who's saying, what are the practical manifestations of your Iman? They said, no, Iman's in my heart, don't worry about the actions. No, we have to work. We have to work for the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In Surah Shams, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions, He swears by وَالشَّمْسِ وَالضُّحَى. Meccan surah, Madani surah? Meccan surah, okay. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, one thing that He mentions in verse 9 is the one who purifies his soul succeeds and the one who corrupts it fails. So we have to constantly work towards a purification of our souls. Purifying it from arrogance, purifying it from envy, purifying it from love of this world, purifying it from boasting, from many different things that are, purifying it from not wanting good things for others. These are all things that shaitan will these are anchors that shaitan will place in our hearts that will impede us from connecting to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
A Meccan surah, the central theme of which is purifying or corrupting the soul, with the tribe of Thamud given as an example of corruption. In the name of God, the Lord of mercy, the giver of mercy. By the sun in its morning brightness, and by the moon as it follows it, by the day as it displays the sun's glory, and by the night as it covers it, by the sky and how He built it, and by the earth and how He spread it, by the soul and how He formed it, and inspired it to know its own rebellion and piety. The one who purifies his soul succeeds, and the one who corrupts it fails. In their arrogant cruelty, the people of Thamud called their messenger a liar. When the most wicked man among them rose against him, the messenger of God said to them, leave God's camel to drink. But they called him a liar and hamstrung her. Their Lord destroyed them for their crime and leveled them, not fearing the outcome.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the surah gave an example of those people that corrupted their souls, and that was the people of Thamud. They asked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for signs. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave them signs. Instead of responding to that sign with gratitude, they responded by killing the camel. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that we need to submit ourselves to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and follow the signs that He has sent down and follow the messenger alayhi salatu wasalam, that He has sent to us. And a person cannot purify their soul except through the teachings of the messengers alayhi salatu wasalam. If we all came up and said, let's develop spiritual exercises to remove envy, jealousy, hatred, anger from our hearts, and they conflict with the teachings of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, it's a waste of time. But the only way we can do that is by following the guidance sent by the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And the last verse, وَلَا يَخَافُ عُقْبَاهَا. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does something, He doesn't fear the outcome. There's no, like, if we do something, right, we'll be like, okay, if did we do it the right way? Did we say the right thing? What's the natija going to be of this? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has no one to fear, and no one can hold Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accountable, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will hold everybody else accountable. In Surah Al-Layl, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He gives us a contrast between the people who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala facilitates good for and the ones He facilitates bad for, and gives an example of those that purify themselves through action. Right? Through action. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, most of the scholars say that the last part of the surah is referring to people, especially Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu, but people that follow his footsteps.
A Meccan surah showing the consequences of the paths people choose and emphasizing God's guidance and warning. In the name of God, the Lord of mercy, the giver of mercy. By the covering night, by the radiant day, by the male and female He created. The ways you take differ greatly. There is the one who gives, who is mindful of God, who testifies to goodness. We shall smooth his way towards ease. There is the one who is miserly, who is self-satisfied, who denies goodness. We shall smooth his way towards hardship, and his wealth will not help him as he falls. Our part is to provide guidance, and this world and the next belong to us. So I warn you about the raging fire, in which none but the most wicked one will burn, who denied the truth and turned away. The most pious one will be spared this, who gives his wealth away as self-purification, not to return a favor to anyone, but for the sake of his Lord the Most High, and He will be well pleased.
Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu, he used to spend his wealth in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to free the slaves. And he purchased the freedom of Bilal radiallahu anhu, and the scholars differ and the historians differ of how he did that. One group of scholars say that he actually paid for the purchase of his freedom. Other scholars say that the Bilal radiallahu anhu, because of how tortured he was, he lost some of his strength. Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu went, he purchased another slave that was stronger. Then Bilal radiallahu anhu had said, then take this one and give me Bilal radiallahu anhu, because Bilal radiallahu anhu believes in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So he would use his wealth. Why would he use his wealth? Not as a means. He never thought that his wealth was a means to benefit others. He understood that when he spent in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it's a means of self-purification. He was purifying his own self, because he himself, radiallahu anhu, did not think of himself as exalted above the others, but he saw himself as in need of purifying his own soul. Another thing that is mentioned here, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in verse 4, إِنَّ سَعْيَكُمْ لَشَتَّى. The ways you take differ greatly. Some of the scholars have interpreted this as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created us with different talents, different skills, different abilities. So whatever you're passionate about, use that to come closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Some people, let's just take from religious aspects, some people like to do dhikr, some people like to read Quran, some people like to pray salat, some people like to give sadaqah, some people they like to do a social service work, right? All of these things, whatever you're passionate about, do it for the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He mentioned that the more we give, is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He will smooth His way, He will facilitate goodness for us. The more we are cognizant, aware of Him, the easier Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make things for us. in Surah Duha, وَالضُّحَى, Meccan Surah, Madani Surah? Meccan Surah, good, alhamdulillah. It's an early surah that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed to the Prophet ﷺ. It was after a period of inqita'. Inqita' means there was a period where revelation wasn't coming to the Prophet ﷺ. So the mushrikun were going to him and mocking him and saying that your shaitan that used to possess you is forsaken you. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reassured the Prophet ﷺ that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will take care of him, and He will take care of him in this dunya and the akhirah, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will tell the believers to take care of the orphan, those that are in need, that don't be rough with them, don't be rude with them, but they have rights on you as well. Yes? The concept of slavery in Islam is very different than anything that you've ever learned about slavery. The slaves in Islam, if Islam is still implemented in certain places, slavery is not abolished in Islam, right? But slaves have the right to their own property. They have the right to get married. They have the right to free their own things and work towards their freedom. So the concept of slavery in Islam it's named, yes, it's called slavery. But is it the same as slavery in the West? Completely different. Completely different. Right? So that's a lecture on itself. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, even though it's very different, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala encouraged people to free the slaves. Whoever frees a slave for the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for each joint that is freed, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will save that person from the fire of hell. Right? Even if a person, let's say that a person breaks his fast unlawfully, what's the first thing he has to do? Try to free a slave. A person commits lihab. What's the thing that he does to make recompense for that? Is to free a slave. If a person commits murder unintentionally or by mistake, what's the kafara for that? To free a slave. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has encouraged the freeing of slaves, but the concept of slavery in Islam has not been abolished. It doesn't exist because slavery doesn't exist in the world today. But the rulings are there, and the concept of mukataba to help people acquire or purchase their freedom is there in Islam as well. And slavery in Islam can only be acquired through war. Only during war, but it's encouraged to free the people as well.
An early Meccan surah addressed to the Prophet ﷺ to reassure him when he had not received revelation for some time that his Lord had not forsaken him, contrary to the taunts by some disbelievers. In the name of God, the Lord of mercy, the giver of mercy. By the morning brightness and by the night when it grows still, your Lord has not forsaken you, Prophet ﷺ, nor does he hate you, and the future will be better for you than the past. Your Lord is sure to give you so much that you will be well pleased. Did he not find you an orphan and shelter you, find you lost and guide you, find you in need and satisfy your need? So do not be harsh with the orphan, and do not chide the one who asks for help. Talk about the blessings of your Lord.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this surah is reassuring the Prophet ﷺ and an extension, the ummah of the Prophet ﷺ, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will take care of them. Right? People may forsake you, people may abandon you, people might not know how to help you, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will always know how to help you. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will always be there, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will always be a source of support. So turn to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and treat those that are in need well. If you want Allah to help you, help others, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will help you, and you will find Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala support with you. He tells the Prophet ﷺ, did he not find an orphan and shelter you, find you lost and guide you, then and find you in need and satisfy your need? Then فَأَمَّا الْيَتِيمَ فَلَا تَقْهَرْ وَأَمَّا السَّائِلَ فَلَا تَنْهَرْ وَأَمَّا بِنِعْمَةِ رَبِّكَ فَحَدِّثْ. Be good to the orphan, be good to the one that asks, and discuss or talk about the blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala upon you. Rather encourage people to reflect on the blessings that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has bestowed upon them. Right? Not necessarily be like, oh, Allah's done this for me, done this for me, done this for me. But tell people to reflect that some people Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has done this for them, done this for them, done this for them. Don't attribute anything to yourself, but attribute all greatness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In Surah Sharh, Alam Nashrah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He reminds us and the Prophet ﷺ that indeed with every difficulty comes multiple ease, right? Allah may put us in a difficult situation, but through that situation, if we're patient and we reflect on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's greatness, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make that a means of great things for us in this dunya and the akhirah. In Surah Deen, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He talks about that He has created us in the best of forms, but when we disobey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we become the lowest of the low. But if we believe in Allah, we're still the best of the best. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to keep us firm in our faith and allow us to be on the great finest state that He has created us in.
This Meccan surah addressed to the Prophet ﷺ is a continuation of the reassurance and encouragement given in Surah 93. In the name of God, the Lord of mercy, the giver of mercy. Did we not relieve your heart for you and remove the burden that weighed so heavily on your back and raise your reputation high? So truly, where there is hardship, there is also ease. Truly, where there is hardship, there is also ease. So when you are free, work on and direct your requests to your Lord. The fig. A Meccan surah questioning how man can deny the judgment and emphasizing the importance of faith and good deeds. In the name of God, the Lord of mercy, the giver of mercy. By the fig, by the olive, by Mount Sinai, by the safe city, we created man in the finest state, then reduced him to the lowest of low. But those who believe and do good deeds will have an unfailing reward. After this, what makes you, man, deny the judgment? Is God not the fairest of judges? The clinging form. A Meccan surah named after the term alaq in verse 2. The first 5 verses are known to be the first revelation of the Quran when the Prophet ﷺ was instructed to read. The second part came later to show that man transgresses when he becomes self-satisfied, as exemplified by a specific individual, Abu Jahl. In the name of God, the Lord of mercy, the giver of mercy. Read, in the name of your Lord who created. He created man from a clinging form. Read, your Lord is the most bountiful one who taught by the pen, who taught man what he did not know. But man exceeds all bounds when he thinks he is self-sufficient. Prophet ﷺ, all will return to your Lord. Have you noticed the man who forbids our servant to pray? Have you noticed whether he is rightly guided or encourages true piety? Have you noticed if he denies the truth and turns away from it? Does he not realize that God sees all? No. If he does not stop, we shall drag him by his forehead, his lying, sinful forehead. Let him summon his comrades. We shall summon the guards of hell. No, do not obey him, Prophet ﷺ. Bow down and worship and draw close.
Can't hear you. Who taught by the pen? Here, it's not referring to the pen, which is the first thing that Allah, he's talking about the hadith, the first thing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created, and he said, write, should I write everything that's going to happen until the day of judgment, there's 50,000 years. This is not what the pen is referring to here. Here, this is teaching a pen as an instrument of education, as a teaching tool, right? Here, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He talks about the importance of education and reading, and not just reading without a senseless purpose, right? Sometimes, yeah, we read for entertainment, we do these things, but here, if you look at read, both times, اقرأ باسم ربك الذي خلق, in the name of Allah, the one who has created. اقرأ وربك الأكرم. After reading, it is mentioned, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is mentioned there. So read for a purpose. Read to come closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because if we read and we read filth, that's not beneficial. Right? If we read things that are not going to benefit us in this dunya or in the akhirah, or even, I'm not even saying, I'm not against reading for entertainment, but if we're reading sleazy, inappropriate material, this will ruin our dunya and our akhirah. Okay? So you can read for entertainment, read for things which are halal purpose, nothing wrong with that. Education. Here then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, that the person has exceeded all bounds. When do they do this? When they think they're self-sufficient, when they think they don't need Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, towards the end of the surah, He said, bow down, make sajda, and get closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So when we make sajda, we know the hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the closest a person is to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is in the state of sujood. So if you want, remember I keep telling you, come back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Connect with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. How do we do that? Through our salawat, especially in sajda, go in sajda and make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. After you say Subhana Rabbil A'la 3 times, make dua even in your own language. Make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He is the one, Qareeb Mujib. He is the one subhanahu wa ta'ala who is close, and He is the one that responds to the caller when he calls upon Him subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the Qadr, here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned that the Quran was sent down in the Laylatul Qadr, and He mentioned that it's a great night. He mentioned that worshipping on this night is greater than 83 years, and this is something that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has sent down peace during this time.
The Night of Glory. This Meccan surah celebrates the night when the first revelation of the Quran was sent down. In the name of God, the Lord of mercy, the giver of mercy. We sent it down on the night of glory. What will explain to you what the night of glory is? The night of glory is better than 1,000 months. On that night, the angels and the Spirit descend again and again with their Lord's permission on every task. Peace it is until the rising of the dawn. A Medinan surah that takes its title from the clear evidence demanded by the disbelievers before they will believe. Yet it points out when the evidence did come, they did not do even the most basic things they were ordered. The surah contrasts the fire of hell with the lasting bliss that will be enjoyed by the faithful. In the name of God, the Lord of mercy, the giver of mercy. Those who believe among the people of the book and the idolaters were not about to change their ways until they were sent clear evidence. A messenger from God reading out purified scrolls containing true scriptures. Yet those who were given the scripture became divided only after they were sent such clear evidence. Though all they were ordered to do was worship God alone, sincerely devoting their religion to Him as people of true faith, keep up the prayer and pay the prescribed alms, for that is the true religion. Those who disbelieve among the people of the book and the idolaters will have the fire of hell, there to remain. They are the worst of people. Those who believe and do good deeds are the best of people. Their reward with their Lord is everlasting gardens graced with flowing streams, where they will stay forever. God is well pleased with them, and they with Him. All this is for those who stand in awe of their Lord.
Okay, what is the bayyinah? What is the clear evidence? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, لَمْ يَكُنِ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا مِنْ أَهْلِ الْكِتَابِ وَالْمُشْرِكِينَ مُنْفَكِّينَ حَتَّى تَأْتِيَهُمُ الْبَيِّنَةُ. Those who disbelieve among the people of the book and the mushrikun were not about to change their ways until they were sent to clear evidence. What is that clear evidence? The Quran? All holy books? No, they already had why would they change if they say that their holy books are on the truth? The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Rasulun min Allah yatlu suhufan mutahhara, a messenger from God. That is the bayyin that is referring to in this surah. Why? Because the messenger is the one that is reading and explaining and bringing the Quran to them as well. So the Quran to the believers was inaccessible without the messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So that's why the scholars say that's why we love the Prophet ﷺ more than we love our own selves. Because the Prophet ﷺ was the one chosen by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to take us out of the fire of hell and enter us into Jannah by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's permission, by guiding us to what we need to be successful in this dunya or the akhirah. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the last verse He says, رَضِيَ اللَّهُ عَنْهُمْ وَرَضُوا عَنْهُ ذَلِكَ لِمَنْ خَشِيَ رَبَّهُ. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is pleased with them and they are pleased with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that is for the ones who have fear of taqwa of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. A way that we do this is every morning, every evening, after every adhan, رَضِيتُ بِاللَّهِ رَبَّا وَبِالْإِسْلَامِ دِينًا وَبِمُحَمَّدٍ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَسَلَّمَ نَبِيًّا. Morning and evening, 3 times each, that I am content and satisfied with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as my Lord, Islam as my religion, and the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam as my prophet. Inshallah, the next 4 surahs we're going to do together, Surah Zilzal, Adiyat, Al-Qari'ah, and Al-Takafur. It shows you these are all surahs that causes people to reflect on accountability, what they truly love, and the Day of Judgment, and the competition of this world.
The earthquake. In Medinan Surah, one of a series of surahs that deal with scenes from the Day of Judgment. In the name of God, the Lord of mercy, the giver of mercy. When the earth is shaken violently in its last quaking, when the earth throws out its burdens, when man cries, what is happening to it? On that day it will tell all, because your Lord will inspire it. On that day people will come forward in separate groups to be shown their deeds. Whoever has done an atom's weight of good will see it, but whoever has done an atom's weight of evil will see that. The charging steeds. An early Meccan surah in which God swears by the war horses he has subjected to man's use, that man is ungrateful and misguided. In the name of God, the Lord of mercy, the giver of mercy. By the charging steeds that pan and strike sparks with their hooves, who make dawn raids, raising a cloud of dust and plunging into the midst of the enemy. Man is ungrateful to his Lord, and he is witness to this. He is truly excessive in his love of wealth. Does he not know that when the contents of graves are thrown out, when the secrets of hearts are uncovered on that day, their Lord will be fully aware of them all? The crashing blow. A Meccan surah which gives some scenes from the resurrection and judgment. In the name of God, the Lord of mercy, the giver of mercy. The crashing blow. What is the crashing blow? What will explain to you what the crashing blow is? On a day when people will be scattered moths and the mountains like tufts of wool. The one whose good deeds are heavy on the scales will have a pleasing life, but the one whose good deeds are light will have the bottomless pit for his home. What will explain to you what that is? A blazing fire. Competing for more. A Meccan surah which criticizes man's preoccupation with worldly wealth and stresses that he will be brought to account on the day of resurrection. In the name of God, the Lord of mercy, the giver of mercy. Competing for more distracts you until you go into your graves. No, indeed, you will come to know. No, indeed. In the end, you will come to know. No, indeed. If only you knew for certain. You will most definitely see hellfire. Then you will see it with the eye of certainty. On that day, you will be asked about your pleasures.
Zilzal, one of the things that we want to reflect on is never think that any good deed is not good enough or is too insignificant. The Prophet ﷺ said, "Ittaqun nar walau bi shiqqi tamra," that protect yourself from the fire even if it is from half of a date. Right? So any good deed that you can do, don't trivialize it, don't minimize it, even if it means just giving somebody water. Who knows that this deed can put you over the top. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accepts this one deed